Compare, contrast, chronological, logical division of ideas, all useful frameworks. Logical division, probably the most common framework in the world, but it has its limitations. And there's this interesting guy, Randy Olson. He was a marine biologist, uh, and then got into travel and photography, and then turned into a filmmaker. And he has this book called Houston. We have a narrative, and his whole point is that uh, academics can try to get away from logical division and just kind of listing ideas and try to create more of a narrative feel. He says there's this thing, a narrative spectrum, and this is what logical division looks like, right? And maybe, and this is boring. If you put too many contrasts, it's confusing. Like, you can't have things constantly twisting and turning. He says there's a sweet spot, which he calls the and but therefore. This is optimally narrative. This is very abstract, so let's look at some examples of it. Here's what this would look like for your standard science presentation. Here's logical division. My name's Dr. Smart, and this is my first graph, and this is my second graph, and these are my conclusions, and it's boring. You're bored right now, probably listening to me. What about this? Hello, my name's Dr. Smart, and I'm going to tell you a story. We knew this, and that, but we didn't really understand how this worked. Therefore, we did this experiment, and we found out, and I don't know, doesn't this feel more engaging? You've probably seen this and but therefore structure many times without realizing it. How about that? Remember that passage about herons from the Topics 2 module? That's an example. Herons live up north, and they head south in the winter, but some get lost and come to Cape Cod, and therefore they encounter the unique benefits and challenges of that environment. Feels like a story, doesn't it? This idea, by the way, for ABT, and but therefore, Olson got that from the South Park creators, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I'm not sure if you're familiar with South Park, but this is an animated adult humor television show that was extremely popular when I was in college. Let's take a look at an example of what and but therefore looks like in a South Park episode. Here's one of my favorite episodes called Awesome O. And Eric Cartman, he's like the antagonist in this show. He dresses up as a toy robot to trick his dim-witted friend Leopold Butters Scotch. And it works. Butters really believes Cartman is a robot, and he starts telling him his deepest secrets. But one of Butters' secrets is that he has a video of Cartman dressed up as and singing along with Britney Spears. Therefore, Cartman spends the rest of the episode in a desperate attempt to find the videotape and keep Butters convinced he is indeed a robot. At one point, he goes into the bathroom and eats a tube of toothpaste because he hasn't had anything to eat in a while. He's the antagonist, so the joke's on him, so it's ultimately funny. I don't know. Look, Olson notes that this isn't just about writing television shows or even just about science. Here's how this could work in politics. You remember the Kavanaugh hearings a little while back? This is what Democrats' approach was just to list complaints, and he drinks too much, and his temperament, and ultimately this was, the hearings didn't work out the way Democrats wanted to. What if they had just stuck to a simple narrative? This is what Olson says would have worked better. Kavanaugh wants to be a Supreme Court judge, and a Supreme Court judge needs to have the right temperament, but he doesn't. Therefore, he needs to be rejected. You stick to that message. That's a stronger message than, say, listing complaints. Here's how we can use this ourselves. Here, my wife was in this administrative job at a school and was writing this message to parents, and with a lot of ands in it, right? Look at them all, and we, and I'm a parent, and here's the ABT version of it, and look how well this works. We're a community, but we have many different parts. Therefore, we must stick together. All of a sudden, it's like a rallying cry. I like it. Here's how we can create an ABT style text. You're going to do this in the last task of this exercise. You got to start with the content, build your basic outline, and from sentences you can start to polish the prose. So here's an example. Here's a text I was working on about evolutionary psychology, and social science perspectives on the lack of women in Silicon Valley tech firms. So I got my content. I got some quantitative data, for instance. I also got some qualitative stuff, like this nice example here. And then I gathered a lot of, stories. And then I started thinking how to frame it. All right. So I got the first part. Women want to study computer science. They want to work in tech companies, and they did in large numbers in the past. But now they don't. And they complain about the culture and sexism and harassment. And then I got to the last part, the therefore part, and I got stuck. Like, so therefore, so what? What do we do? And I started thinking about stuff like this. Well, this shows that something's wrong with the culture. We need change. That didn't feel right. And then I realized the problem was I wasn't on my topic. This is the topic. It's about the women, right? And they. So, all right. How do you keep it? But you stay focused on the same topic. This could be the therefore. Therefore, only a few women are left in tech that deal with all this stuff, right? This is what it turned into. Here's kind of like a blurb, Now, let's see if we can't rewrite some list-style logical division passages using ABT.